To the next lesson of IT. Before we go into deleting records, I'm going to show you one last thing that we need in general for programming. Okay, I did say this would eventually come up, and now the time is it for it to come up. This is the message dialog function. Okay, now remember we have learnt about different pop-up boxes, or as we should know them, dialog boxes. Okay, these are pop-up boxes. They're not components, they pop up. For pure output, we use show message. Okay, that is just to show output. If we want to input, we use input boxes. Okay, both of these are dialog boxes. Okay, or pop-up boxes as you might want to call them. Okay, but you do need to know their proper name, dialog boxes, because sometimes in your final exams they don't say it's a pop-up box, they just say create a dialog box, and you need to know it's either a show message input box or message dialog, as we're going to discuss it. Okay, you need to decide which one. They'll just say create a dialog box, so you need to know as soon as you hear the word dialog boxes, they either mean a show message, an input box, or a message dialog. Okay, if it's just for displaying something, then they want a show message. If they want the user to enter something, it is for input. If they want a decision of sorts, so basically like an if statement, that is when message dialog comes in, or message DLG. Okay, so that's what you need to know, is when to use these. Okay, as said, it's used with a decision, so it's generally part of an if statement. So we generally have if, then message dialog. Okay, it has 4 parameters we need. The first parameter is basically the caption. So for example, we're going to use something like, are you sure you want to delete these records? Then comma. The second parameter is what type of message it is. It starts with MT generally, and then I'll give you the list of them. So that tells you what type of message. That tells you what the heading of the message will be, whether something like confirm or warning, and which of these symbols are used. That's all it determines. Then the third parameter, which is in square brackets because we have multiple ones, is the list of possible message buttons. MB for message buttons. So how many buttons you have, like yes or no, okay and cancel. You can have more than 2, but we'll stick with mostly 2. Then the third one will always be set to 0 for now. Okay, then we'll have an equals depending on which button we care about most, and a then. Okay, so this displays a pop-up message to the user. You can specify which type of message it should be, whether it's a warning, an error, or just general information. As I said, this determines the symbol and the heading, and then which buttons will be displayed. So basically the user will get to choose. So instead of being like a show message where they just say okay, they get to choose, and then you can put code in depending on what they choose. Okay, so this gives them a choice. So let's go through the parameters again. So again, firstly is a constant message, which is a string, the dialog type, which is its own special type, the buttons, which are again its own special dialog buttons, and the help context, which we are just going to set for 0. And then it returns generally a function which is actually one of the message replies, but we'll get to that. Okay, so the message string, that can be anything we want. That's just a string saying an instruction. The dialog type, these are a list of options. So MT warning, so message type warning, MT confirmation, MT information, MT error, and MT custom. We won't do custom because that gets a bit advanced. So warnings, if you've got like a warning message like, are you sure you want to do this, or be careful if you do this. MT confirmations, that you want to check something like, are you sure you want to delete these records, or are you sure you'd like to proceed? MT information is just general information, and MT errors, if you want an error, you choose which one you want. Okay, in a tested exam, you'll have to look and see which one it is. If it says confirm, then you know it's a confirmation. If it says something like warning in the screenshot, then you know you want MT warning. The buttons always start with MB, message button. So you can have a yes button, a no button, an okay button, a cancel button, an abort button, a retry button, ignore button, an all button, a no to all button, a yes to all button, and a help button, which we won't really use. Generally we have yes and no together, or okay and cancel, but you decide. Okay, in square brackets. As I said, for help context, that is not discussed in this appendix, so we just always set it to 0. Just know, last one will always be 0. Okay. Then the return function It is not a string, it is MR, message reply. So yes, no, okay, cancel, abort. It's basically all the above buttons. So this is giving a list of buttons. This refers to what the user actually clicked. Okay, so let's actually take an example of this. Okay, so let's just say I click a button. I'm just going to do a little test to show you guys. Okay, and then I'm going to put in an if statement, message dialog. Okay, my message is click OK to proceed, comma. Then I'm going to give it a type, so let's just give this empty information. Okay, remember you can't make up your own thing, it has to be from that list. Then I'll do buttons in square brackets. Let's have MBO, so I'm going to say, yeah, let's say click OK to proceed. So I'm going to have MB OK and MB cancel. Remember, you can have instead MB yes or no, but you have to go from the list, and the last one is 0. And then I'm going to say equals MR OK. So the code under this is what happens if the user clicks OK. So in this message, I'm just going to put a show message to keep this simple. You clicked OK. Okay. You could also have an else statement, in which case it means they clicked cancel, and then you can say else you click cancel. So let's do that to show that you can. Otherwise you don't have to have an else, so nothing can happen when you click cancel, obviously. So show message, you didn't click OK. Okay, remember apostrophes 2. Okay, let's check this out. Give my computer a few seconds, it's slow. Okay, so I click test. Here comes my message dialog. Information is the heading, and it's got the little I because it's empty information. I know it's a bit cut off, that's just my computer being old. On yours it might look normal. And there I have my buttons, OK and cancel. So let me try cancel first. You didn't click OK. If I click OK, you clicked OK. Okay, so it just gives you a choice. As I said, we can leave out the else, so let's just try the else. Okay, OK. You clicked OK. Otherwise, if I click cancel, nothing happens. Okay. Keep in mind, obviously you can do multiple statements. You just use a begin and end like a normal if statement. Okay. If I wanted something to happen when it was cancel, I could say MR cancel here and then have the else for the OK. It is up to you. Okay, so that is a message dialog box, which we're going to use with deleting records, but we can also use it anytime we want a pop-up or dialog box for the user to make a choice. Okay, so anytime we want that. So again, we have if, the word message dialog. The first part is a message, a constant like instruction, which is a string. Then the type, MT, and a type from our list of types here. These are our different possible types. Then in square brackets, a list of our buttons, generally 2, and it's MB, and we have our list of buttons here. Then our final parameter, comma 0. Sorry, that should be a round bracket, not a square bracket. I just realized that mistake now. And then equals, and then you choose one of your buttons to have a response to. For example, MR for message reply. So again, it's the copy of these ones. It's just instead of MB, it's MR. And basically, what will execute is if they click OK. Okay, so that is message dialog. I want you to practice creating your own. Okay, just practice creating it for now. I'm not going to give you a specific program with it because we're going to do that in the next lesson. Literally, just practice it for now, guys. That is all I want from you. And that is the end of this lesson. That is message dialog.